Hi, and welcome to our first ever episode of It Is What It Is. I'm Rachel.
I'm Holly.
And I'm Evie.
We are three girls from Ireland, Northern Ireland, North Coast, whatever you will call it, we don't care. This podcast will focus on current issues, girly dilemmas, and just having a little bit of crack.
Today we're going to address some of your guys' dilemmas and talk 2020 trends. We love the idea of creating a show that's full of content that interests you.
Yeah, so look out for our polls and questions over on our social media pages to get involved. Our Instagram is It Is What It Is Podcast Girls. So enjoy!
2020 has been such a strange year. If someone had told us this time last year that we'd be living through a global pandemic, we'd just have believed them.
No, definitely not. This has been the strangest year ever.
I know, but it almost seems so normal now. Like,
Yeah.
when you think too before coronavirus, it just, like, it doesn't seem like it just seems so normal. Like,
Yeah.
everything we have to do, all the rules and everything. Like, are we ever going to get back to the way we were before? Like,
Yeah, I know. Imagine social distancing not being a thing anymore and being able to hug people and touch people. It's going to, like, at the start, whenever you're allowed to do that, it's going to be a little bit strange, like
Yeah.
touching someone for the first time, or
It's the consent part. You're going to have to say, is it okay if I just give you a wee hug there?
yeah.
You know, it's whereas we're all tactile people, we're like, the first thing we want to do is give each other a hug.
like
Yeah.
very
I am
touchy.
quite forgetful. I have to say, like, I have went to hug people and then they're like, and then I'm like, oh crap, sorry, I keep forgetting.
No, I'm the opposite. So if I'm like watching like a really old movie and they're
yeah.
like hugging or they're like really close, I'm like, oh my god, they're a bit too close for comfort.
I know, I do get that, yeah.
And it's like a movie from like 1993 or something.
Yeah.
But even like in 2015, do you know, like,
I know.
it's so
Not
weird.
that long ago.
I know.
And talking about those sorts of things, trends, like 2020 trends, what do you think should be taken with us into 2021 and what should be left in 2020?
There's so many bad trends, isn't
There's
there?
a lot of bad trends, but for the good trends, I love the fact that we're all embracing sweats, comfy clothes, gym wear. Like, we can't dress up
I
anymore.
know. I love that. I think it's great. I hate jeans. I hate wearing jeans so much, and I don't think I'll ever wear them again.
Wouldn't it be great if you could wear sweats to a restaurant?
Honestly.
But that is, people do
Yeah,
wear sweats
that's
with
true.
heels and like dress
Yeah.
up a wee bit. Like, really, they have become quite
To
fashionable.
be fair, that's very true.
Like,
But
what do you think of like the new fashion of sweats, blazer and heels?
I love it. I think it's
I love
great,
it, but I don't
yeah.
think I could do it. I
Really?
would feel not dressed if I went to a restaurant in sweats and heels.
Yeah.
I just feel like everyone would be laughing at me.
I know, sweats sit funny on me too. Like, I look like I'm wearing a nappy.
I know, but I love the look on other people.
Yeah,
like if
I
I see
know.
someone in a dress, I'm like, yes, girl, get it.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
So we're thinking comfy clothes and sweats in
Yes.
2021,
Love that
100%.
idea.
What
And
else?
Natural makeup.
Yeah, natural makeup is coming through, and I love it.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think everyone's so much more skin focused and getting like the
Yeah.
flawless skin rather than like the eye makeup these days.
Especially with the whole, what's that? Is it acne they call it?
Oh
With
yes,
your
acne.
mask.
I know all about that.
Yes, I know about that too. Yeah.
Although they're saying like the best thing for acne is silk masks.
Oh,
yes.
So I've invested in them.
Have
and
you?
Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a thing. It's so strange how your skin, like even if you're just wearing it for a couple of hours or
Yeah.
even a couple of minutes, you can notice the difference.
Yes.
And mine's is like at the minute, like the one that I keep in my car, I really need to like wash it because there's makeup all over it, and I was, that can't be good for
That
my
cannot be.
acne.
I know, it's like washing your makeup brushes.
Yeah, exactly.
Wash your mask.
But one trend that I noticed hasn't popped out of the woodwork just yet, and it does all like this time of the year. Every year, it's like new year, new me. This year's going to be my year. Why do you think people aren't doing that? Do you think they're scared of jinxing themselves?
Like even like it's not in their control anymore. Like what like if you make a plan, like it depends on the circumstance. Like, can you go on holidays? Can you start a business up in this pandemic? Like, it's not really
It's
in
all
their
up in,
hands.
it's all up in the air. Like, you
Yeah.
don't know what you're going into.
Yeah.
So I really feel like people are just going with the flow. Whatever happens.
Which is maybe a good thing.
I would say that's probably a really good thing to come from 2020.
Yeah.
Have
that-
you experienced anything in 2020 that has made you feel like you're not going to push that, you know, new year, new me? What's happened to you that would make you think that I'm not going to actually push that?
Well, the fact that I've had to cancel Australia twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
bad
you
crack.
just feel like if it happens
yeah,
now.
yeah, and we really wanted to go, but
So just tell the listeners, like, what was the crack with Australia?
Oh,
You were
yeah.
meant to go, weren't you?
so we booked Australia in last January, literally a month before kind of coronavirus came out, We booked it for August, and we were kind of like, well, that's 6 months away, it might be okay by then. It was not.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, so in May then we changed it to February, and even then I don't think we're going to be able to go. So our visas, we have our visas and everything, but they're expired on the 25th of February, and I don't know like if we can extend them. We don't really know what's the crack with that. So at this point I'm just like, if we go, we go, if we don't, we don't.
Yeah, exactly. In the end, you've saved up a lot of money, so whatever you do with it, it's a win-win.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I'm always saving money up for like a particular thing, whereas now I'm just saving money for whatever happens
In
next year,
2021.
yeah.
Nobody knows.
Yep.
Nobody knows.
Well, 2020 has definitely been a tough year, to say the least, but it has taught us a lot of things, and like I do feel like we will definitely bring loads of things that we've learned into 2021 for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah, Holly, what about you in terms of like what have you been faced with this year that you're like, actually I don't even care about planning anymore, like 2021 just come as you want?
Well, probably the biggest thing was my wedding. I got married this year. I was determined to get married no matter what the circumstances were. So yeah, I was a lockdown bride and I would not change a thing. And I had 12 people at my wedding. And honestly, it was the best day ever. I'm so happy that I went ahead with it. But yeah, I think it's just to sort of don't expect, like I think everyone's got such high expectations for everything, and I had such high expectations for my wedding, and then I had the most low-key wedding, and
It was beautiful.
it met all my expectations. I know it was a beautiful wedding.
Of course.
It was gorgeous.
But yeah, I just feel like people have such high expectations for themselves, and just
Well, I think you started the trend as well of small weddings. Like, I think everyone's kind of loving.
I feel like everyone should do it.
Yeah.
Because people forget that it's like the main reason to get married is for love.
Yeah.
It's not for, being a big fancy show, or how many people you had, or how much you spent,
Your
or
dress and
your designers and everything. Yeah.
It takes the pressure out of it, doesn't it?
It takes so much pressure.
2020 has taken the pressure out of having to do things. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to travel because you can't. You
Yeah.
don't have to have a big wedding
Yeah.
because you can't have it.
Yeah.
So it's given that option of actually it's okay to do things small.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
very true.
Yeah, so I just feel like don't have like these high expectations for yourself. Just
Yeah.
do you.
Yeah. And you'll still have a lovely time, I'm sure. Holly had the most
Exactly.
amazing wedding, so.
I did.
And are you moving on to 2021? So are you going to are you going to do anything with the wedding again?
Yeah, hopefully. Well, because I had my bridesmaids there, but not officially. Like, they were there, but they weren't.
We were hiding behind a fence.
hiding behind fences, doing my hair, doing my makeup, being there for me the whole morning before I left the house. But yeah, I want my bridesmaids to be there for next year. We're going to have a big reception, a big party, just to celebrate like the marriage with like all my aunties, cousins, friends, so fingers crossed 2021 for the summer.
And it'll be better because it's just a party. It's not like,
Yeah.
there's no pressure.
There's no pressure at all. Yeah, exactly. I'm already married.
Yeah.
It's like one thing that I remember you saying to me actually was coming up to the wedding, you had said something along the lines of being worried about walking down in front of so many people. Do you remember saying that to
Yes.
me? And I remember like whenever then obviously you couldn't have your wedding, I just remember thinking like this suits Holly, like this
Yeah.
will suit her,
It
because
really did.
even the thought of you having to walk in front of all these people, like next year that's not going to be the case. Everybody's just going to enjoy you
Yeah,
as being
I
a
know.
couple. We're going to
Yeah.
celebrate you as being a couple.
I know.
So it's just funny how the world works. Like
Yeah, that's
everything
so
happens for a
true,
reason.
I know, it's very true.
So, if you've been following our new Instagram pages, you'll know that we've been posting question boxes for the last couple of days. We've just been trying to find out some of your guys' dilemmas. We've had such a great response, so we're really excited to share some of them today. If it's something that you are interested in us continuing to do, please do interact with us over on our social media pages. First dilemma states, burnt out. What are your thoughts on this one, Evie?
Oh, I am always if girls know, like last week whenever we were meeting up and all, and how tired I was after, like I just like get so tired so easily, like always have, like for years, like after work, I like, you know, the girls in work are like, oh, like, what are you doing tonight? And I'm like, I'm going home and I'm sitting on my sofa and I'm putting on Desperate Housewives, and they're always like, oh, going to the gym, like meeting up with a friend for coffee, and I'm like, I just like physically don't have the energy to do that sometimes. Like, I don't know if it's like something wrong with me. Maybe I should go to the doctor and check that out.
You check your iron. No, I think that is a thing. It's like, I feel like sometimes it can just be too much.
Yeah, and absolutely.
Yeah, you have to be so careful with like your food and making sure you're getting enough energy, drinking water.
Yeah.
That's your like number one thing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I do drink lots of water, to be fair,
I'm
but
bad at that. I'm really bad. I also find like, maybe if it's not even with work, it's like your social. Like,
Yeah.
I find on my days off, I'm constantly like, right, I have to meet this person, I have to meet, you know, your family member, you have to do something. Like, you constantly have to be doing something on your days off, and sometimes it's okay just to have a me day, have a you day, you know, just chill out and put your favourite series on, get a face mask, just do you, hun.
self-care.
Self-care,
It's the
100%.
best care.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think your diet plays a big part in that as well. Like, I notice if my diet's not great, I am like lethargic. And,
Your
like,
energy's not okay,
yeah.
for sure.
So definitely diet as well is a big thing for burnout.
So our next dilemma says, been speaking to a boy for a good while and then they ghost you all of a sudden. Is this a new trend? What's your thoughts on this one, Rach?
Well, we've all been in relationships for quite a while, girls, but I have had a friend who's talked to me about this recently, and it is not a new trend.
Yeah.
Ghosting is not a new trend.
It's like the easy, cowardly way out.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, I've taken my friend, for example. I feel like in her circumstances, it usually happens around like the 3-month mark, which seems so strange. It's at the stage that you can post a photo of them in your time, or you can't post a photo of them in your timeline, but you can on your story.
Yeah.
And it comes as like a real shock to the girl, because there's nothing that can justify this behaviour. Like, everything's going fine. But around this stage, whether you realise it or not, the relationship has passed the point of casual. Like, suddenly there's like an awkwardness of, what is this? And the boy's going to have to make a decision.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit not serious, but like 3 months is a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at that stage, you should be thinking about, like, what is this? Like,
you're starting
what are
to
we
really
doing?
get to know them.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
at that stage, like even shortly into messaging a girl, a boy will realise that they have to make the decision. Either they're in or they're out. And ghosting, unfortunately, is just the easy way of them not having to commit to either. So by ghosting, you're in a roundabout way, leaving the person hanging, and you're leaving your options open to come back to it. You're not addressing your feelings, you're not addressing theirs. And if you're listening to this and you're ghosting someone, just own up to how you're feeling, be honest.
I have an unpopular opinion.
Go for it.
Go.
What is it?
I think if I was seeing a guy and he didn't want to see me anymore, I would nearly rather he ghosted me.
I get that. Like, would you'd rather be maybe ghosted than
If I'd be mortified. Like, if he texts me like, this isn't working, or I'd be like,
I
oh.
don't find you funny enough.
Yeah, literally, you're not funny.
Ouch.
Okay.
But like, even like just a message saying, like, I don't know, just being like, look, I don't want to see you anymore, like, it's not working out, rather than these girls sitting at home waiting for the message,
Yeah, that's
not
true.
knowing. Like, it's just unfair. Like, I just
Going
think
through
it's totally unfair,
Going,
yeah.
going through your head like round and round and round.
you don't have to explain that you don't think they're funny or whatever. You just have to say, I just don't want this anymore, or like
Yeah.
whatever.
It's just, yeah.
I would
It's not
agree.
you, it's me.
But but on the other hand, if you're listening and you're the girl that's being ghosted or the person that's being ghosted, and you're questioning what you did, look, it's nothing that you've done. Like, his reasons for ghosting are his own personal reasons,
Yeah.
his insecurities, you know, his
not
issues. Yeah, at this stage, I think it's important that you see the situation for what it is. He's not wanting a relationship. My friend kept saying, you know, what if he's not ready? I don't want anything. I just want it to go back to the way it was. And I was just like, be honest with yourself, because she did want something more. Otherwise, she wouldn't have really been with him.
Yeah.
So what I'd say is, you know, take it for what it is. He's not ready. He's never going to be ready, in the sense of where your timeline is. And just don't try and lose yourself looking for someone else. That's like so important, I think.
So important. You really need to learn to love yourself before you can let someone else love you.
Yeah,
I think.
for sure. That's so important.
And a lot of girls, I think, forget that and kind of rely on someone else for their like self-confidence, self-kind of love.
But just
which isn't fair, and the man neither, is it?
Yeah, it's not fair. Yeah, like girls, or I'm saying he, but it could be a she as well.
Yeah.
Like, but like with that being said, just because he's not ready now doesn't mean he'll never be ready. But I would say, as a piece of advice, just focus on yourself at the minute. Like, don't put all that time that you're spending on him, thinking about him, onto yourself. He's not ready to commit at the minute, so let him figure it out. Give him a space. Go and take plenty of selfies.
Yeah.
Look after yourself, and if it's meant to be, it'll be.
And the right man will come at the right time.
100%. Okay, girls, next dilemma is from a girlfriend. So she has said, the PS5 has just came out. Why do girlfriends hate it so much?
See, during lockdown, I genuinely wanted to grab Aaron's an Xbox guy, so I literally wanted to grab the Xbox and throw it out the top window. But he was like, I get like it's where he like I get that like it's his like pride and joy, or not pride and joy, but he just like it's where he can switch off.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and he enjoys it, so I'm like, of course you go and enjoy yourself. But then it's during lockdown, I was like, oh my god, get off that. And like nearly where I was being a bit cheeky like to him a bit, because I was like, oh no, Xbox.
This is your girlfriend.
Have you seen the trend, Holly? You were saying about the trend, like about the girlfriends.
Yes.
Pranking.
So there was these TikTok trends where the girls are pranking their boyfriends. They go out of their way to get a PS5 empty box, give it to their boyfriends, and then they're like so happy that they've got this what is it, a PS5? What is it? And then they open it and it's empty. I think that's so mean.
That is
so
traumatic. That is like borderline trauma for some males. Like,
could you imagine if they gave us an empty box that had Louis Vuitton wrote on it? You would be gutted. Oh my god.
Honestly, I'm not joking. Callum would end up in that box at the bottom of the garden somewhere. I'm not joking.
Yeah,
it would be murders.
Like I do think like I don't think girlfriends hate it. It's just like when you're not getting paid attention.
Yeah, it's like that Xbox, PS5, whatever it is getting more attention than I'm getting.
Yeah.
That is not okay.
Unpopular opinion. I actually don't mind whenever Callum does spend time on it, because I like my own time.
Yeah.
Okay, they're allowed an hour.
Yeah. I think like it's just during lockdown. I think because Aaron was saying that this is the first time all his friends like they're not working and they're all on the Xbox together, and he was like, we haven't done this since we were like sick kids, do you know what I mean? So he was like, this is like, so I was like, oh yeah, whatever, fine enough. But
do you
I just wish we had a girl version
of
it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, like what would it be?
Well, so since I started watching Desperate Housewives, I come home from work and I'm like, oh, I'm like, you go and play the Xbox, like go and play, because I just want to sit and watch Desperate Housewives. So I guess like that way. And I remember me and my friend during lockdown actually downloaded games on our phone, like Sims and stuff, and I was like, okay, this can be I'm just not really a game person. I'm
not a game person. I can't understand how to get into it.
Maybe there should be like some sort of like network that we could get involved. Do you know what though, over lockdown, whenever we were doing Zooms, like your Zoom hen, Holly, was so much fun. Like all of us girls got dressed up, we like got our drinks ready, and we sat on Zoom and like all evening, and it was just girl time. Maybe something like that.
Yeah. That was good actually.
That could be like the new Xbox for girls.
Yes.
Or PlayStation for girls.
Yeah, instead of playing actual games, we can play drinking games.
Yeah,
literally.
I know. That escalated from, what time did we start? It was around...
We started early, didn't we? We were like 6 o'clock. Everybody was on for 6.
6. And we were on till 3 o'clock in the morning.
We were the last girls standing. Even I think you fell asleep in the middle of it.
I literally was like, right, I'm going, and just because I was on my bed when I was doing it, and I literally just crawled into bed and fell asleep.
Oh no, but things like that, like that could be something, girls. We could be on to something there.
Yeah,
we could do. Yeah, like random girls getting on to Sim, and
you have to be dressed up. You have to like
introduce yourself. That's a little.
Let us know as listeners. Is this something that we could make a thing?
Yeah, and instead, like, if like your boyfriend's like, I'm going on the Xbox here, you're like, yeah, I'm going on whatever we call it.
Can't do Saturday night because I'm with the girls.
So a listener wrote, Insta makes me feel like I'm feeling at life. Everyone comes across so motivated, positive and happy, even on a down day. So what are your thoughts on this, Holly?
So yeah, I feel like Instagram is all about, you know, your achievements, what if you're having a really great day, if you're
Looking good.
if you're looking good, yeah, exactly, you're gonna post it.
Yeah.
And that's just not real life.
No.
And obviously you follow people whose careers are booming.
Yeah.
And you're gonna follow people who you know you aspire to be.
Yeah.
So it's okay if you're not there right now, and I feel like there's a lot of pressure in your 20s to be where you're supposed to be. Do you feel that way?
Totally. Like, and I keep thinking like I want to have everything done before I'm 30.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god, I'm under, but 30 is quite young. Like,
It's so young.
30 is young.
I know, and you just like you look at your parents or whatnot, and it's took them 20 years to get where they are.
Exactly.
And like that's absolutely fine. Like that's life. That's normality.
And a lot of people on Instagram, you look at, people get lucky, people do like have
Yeah.
successful businesses at 22,
Yeah.
but that's
Which is
not
great.
going to happen to
Yeah,
everybody.
I know, that's amazing that you've
Yeah.
done that for yourself,
Yeah.
but that's not achievable for everybody.
Yeah.
You can get there someday, but don't expect it to happen tomorrow.
I think like a good way, because everybody does look at Instagram and people do post the great parts of their lives on Instagram. I think like a good thing for you to do if you are feeling down and you are feeling a bit like, oh, like I don't have a job that's as great as that, I don't look as great as that, I don't have the things that person has. Get a pen and paper and write down the things you do have and you are grateful for.
Oh, that's so helpful.
Like
I
literally
do that,
sit
yeah.
there and be like, do you know what, I've got a roof over my head, I've got a job if you have one. If you don't have a job, you've probably got a great family around you. If you don't have a great family, you've got friends. Like
There's
you've got something.
always something
100%.
to be
Even like
thankful
little
for.
things like this, like the sky or like stars, I'm like, oh my god, like I'm like just so thankful for that. Like,
Our little hippie event.
I do be like so thankful
I know,
for the little
it's
things
so
like
true.
that, and I like
Yeah.
it kind of like a snowball effect. Once you're thankful for one thing,
for
you're like,
sure.
and I have this, and I have, and then you
Yeah.
just to be thankful for so
And
much.
it's the best way to get out of your own head.
Yeah.
And like also with Instagram, sometimes if you're looking on Instagram and it is all you see things that's making you feel down, take a minute, just take yourself off social media, like do a task, do something else that you will make you feel like you've achieved.
That's
like
a really good tip.
for me as well, like even like I write a list, you know what I'm like for lists. So I'm like writing list upon list, and even if I achieve 3 things off those lists in a day, I'm like, oh, I've achieved that. You forget what the person on Instagram
Yeah.
has achieved
Oh,
because
totally.
you've just washed your makeup brushes. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It
Clean your room, because that is like, oh, it makes you feel
Oh
so
my
good.
god. It's a thought of it, and then once you get started, you can't stop.
I know. What else will I clean now?
There is nothing better than sitting down, like clean, tidy house. You've sat down for the day with your wee glass of wine.
I love that feeling.
Oh.
It's so good. Light a candle.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's such
You're
a
going to
good
get
feeling.
people that are literally polar opposite though, that like couldn't think of anything worse than that.
I know.
Like cleaning, really?
I know, like the actual doing is like, it's not too bad, but it's like if you don't like doing it, just think of the feeling, how you'll feel after.
Yes,
like that's
exactly.
the best feeling. But I think it's like, though, like realistically, if I'm having a bad day, the last thing I'm going to do is go on Instagram and broadcast it. I mean, it's probably a good thing to do, but like it's
It's just not what you do.
your
It's just
natural
not, yeah.
thing.
And it's not what everybody else does, so you
No.
just don't do it.
You
Yeah,
just don't,
it's
like-
that. But also, I feel like sometimes if people are posting about being, having a bad day or whatnot, they're like labeled as negative.
Yeah,
So people are
I
like,
know, that's
actually, that
true.
person's so negative. And it is preference. Like, you're never going to please everybody. Like,
Yeah.
people are overly positive, not positive enough. So like those Instagrammers that you're looking up to that are really trying their best,
Yeah.
they're also getting backlash of people who don't like them, don't like what they're putting out.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, girls.
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is. And we'll take our Instagram social medias with a pinch of salt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
definitely.
Take Instagram with a pinch of salt. So back to the dilemma, girls. Yeah, I would just say, look, you're not feeling it, life. We're all just
We all
on-
have those days.
And Rachel, you said earlier that being like overly positive and forcing positivity on people is just as toxic as being negative. Like,
Yeah.
it's really, it kind of,
You have to get your happy medium.
how would you know how it feels to be positive if you didn't feel the negative?
Exactly.
True.
You need to feel both to appreciate
Exactly.
the latter.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's us. We've came to the end of our first ever podcast. Can you believe it? I could talk to you as girls all night, honestly, but we have to stop somewhere. And I love that we've now got a fourth best friend joining us in our girl chats, our listeners.
Yay.
That sounds so strange. I really hope you guys enjoyed listening in.
We would love to know your thoughts on tonight's show, so please join us over on our Instagram to share some of your feedback.
And we will be back next week at the same time, so make sure and join us.
Until then, take life as it comes, and remember, it is what it is.